Wrestling has been such a very, very hot topic. Twitter has been really all over the place. A lot of people came back from like, Blue Sky over to Twitter to be like, hey, start making, I don't want to say demands. Why don't I want to say demands? I don't want to say demands. But they came over and started crying like they always do. And then trying to take like more high grounds and stuff. I just want to say what up to Deborah for joining. I do know that people are still like at work or on their lunch break, and we're just doing a really testing out of that. Aside from more people coming back onto Twitter so that way they could talk their shit and like just talk their shit. We have made it into the YouTube partner program. I really, like I said, I don't have anything planned. I'm just here rambling because I wanted to test out the live stream. Um, this may or may not stay up, or not. But yes, we made it into the YouTube partner program, which I have been wanting to do for a while, which is amazing. I have yet to have my first partner stream. It will happen soon. I'm not sure when, but this weekend it is filled with wrestling. So on the 5th, not only do we have MOW's Battle Riot, which I will be reviewing live on YouTube, youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. I will be reviewing MOW Battle Riot live with my buddy Dose Evil. And then later on in the month, April 21st, we are going to be having a really cool podcast collaboration with his podcast, my podcast, and some wrestlers. And we're just going to be talking about like random stuff, really wrestling related. So there's that. But aside from MLW being on April 5th for Battle Riot, which, by the way, congratulations to them for selling out, and congratulations to them for upgrading to a bigger venue because they were really, really in demand for over in LA, which was great. It was really great to hear that type of news. The other thing, too, is that on April 5th, it is also NJPW Sakura Genesis. This is the event, or the pay-per-view, I should say. The pay-per-view that's going to be having David Finlay versus Hiroki Goto, because Goto is our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So that's going to be happening. There's going to be some House of Torture on that card too, where Evil is going to be taking on Suji in a very clean. Evil promised a very clean match, and I'm like, sure. We'll see. We will see. We will see the shenanigans like sooner or later. I think there is something else on the 5th. Is it like AEW Dynasty? I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore about AEW. All I do know is that AEW fans just don't know how to understand stuff anymore. They think that everything is an attack on them. Aside from April 5th, again, I'm looking at my laptop here. So April 5th is, like I said, NJPW and also MLW. And then, of course, you got your Raws, SmackDowns, and like Dynamites and stuff. When is Stand and Deliver? When is NXT? Because I know they have like a pay-per-view coming up. I just don't know. There's way too much wrestling. And by the way, I owe you guys like a lot of reaction videos towards Legends and Future Greats, which, by the way, I still want to call it, Let's Fucking Go, but it's Legends and Future Greats. And I will be reacting to Stephanie McMahon's new show called Stephanie's Places, because I really want to do that. However, because those take a little bit longer to do, aside from like real life stuff, those have to be behind a paywall. I need to get used to saying that stuff needs to be behind a paywall because I have 6 years of like free stuff, free content. And sometimes people will be like, well, people will pay for this and that and stuff like that. I try not to put stuff at a very high ticket price because everyone is trying to budget and they have their own stuff going on in real life. I just want to be comfortable as a content creator, as someone who makes videos and talk about wrestling and become very, very passionate about it. Why is my internet connection very unstable? I am on the network. It has to happen at least once. Like I say, if you visit me on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast and you see me podcasting and you see me live streaming, I say that if nothing goes wrong, you're not really a content creator. You're not really a streamer. Something has to go wrong in order for you to be like, okay, yeah, I'm a streamer. Um, this is me just babbling because I just wanted to test this out. Aside from hitting YouTube Partner, which is super, super amazing, um, I do realize that on Twitter, there are so many different voices and so many different conversations, and like no one really understands. Um, I don't know how many people like travel towards Twitter and like see what's the conversations that go on, but maybe we should talk about the estimates that were released, and obviously these are like fake numbers, but this is like a what if, what if this could be the right numbers for AEW and whatnot of like how much they lost last year. So just very randomly, I guess I'll just catch everybody up to speed. For the longest that AEW has been around, David Metzler has always been like they're going to be the most profitable company in the world of professional wrestling, right? And I kept saying it, other people kept saying it, but no one really truly listens. That because AEW is an LLC, their financials are not public. They don't have public financial calling either to be like, hey, this is how much we made in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of like whatever year. So the saddest part that we're seeing is how the AEW fan base will stick to Dave Metzler and other people like glue and be like, yeah, they're profitable, they're profitable, they're profitable. Oh, sorry. I don't have this thing on a like little thing. But we don't really know, just because we get reports about Warner Brothers Discovery giving them like what 185 million a year doesn't mean that that's profitable, because you have to take all other incomes into consideration. You can't just be like, oh my god, here's the one source of income, because 185 million per year is not going to cover everybody's salary that works for AEW. It's not going to cover them going from town to town to town for their shows. It's not going to cover if they need to like repair the ring. It's not going to cover like any of that stuff. So you can't celebrate just one stream of income to be like, oh yeah, they're very, very profitable. They're going to be way more profitable than something else. They have to have other sources of income in order to be profitable and make sure that they're not still operating in the red. So even as like I would say it on Twitter, other people would say it on Twitter, we get brushed over, we get pushback, we get people that would, just yell at us, call us names, and then like, think that they got us figured out when they really don't, because they don't want to have a conversation with us in the first place. So to speed everything up, that's just like a little bit of background for what I'm about to say next. So there's a really cool account, Switchblade 97, who decided to go back and do a estimate sheet of a P&L, which is profit and loss. By the way, there's construction happening outside, just so you know. So he decided to do a whole entire thread about, a breakdown of like what could be. And the smart people, like myself and other people that I'm in circles with, understood that it's an estimate, understood that it's not the real numbers, because yes, we know, we've been telling people that AEW is a privately owned company, therefore we're not really going to know the numbers. But when you have David Metzler and everybody else saying that like, oh, this is how much money they made for this is how much money they made for that, it's estimated this is here, but they're still going to be profitable, they have a profitable TV deal, and it's like, it'll be best to like really preface all of that and be like, because they are not a publicly traded company, even Dave doesn't even know the numbers. And that's the biggest thing that we've been talking about, is how like stuff like that gets pushed around in a telephone game. And then when you question them on it, it'd be like, yo, show your work. Meaning like, how are you getting these numbers? How are you getting these estimates if, nobody has access to the numbers like Tony Khan has? And just because both David Metzler and Tony Khan are like besties and they text each other, Tony Khan is not really revealing the numbers to him, but yet then somehow he knows the numbers. You know what I mean? So there was a nice huge thread on Twitter about that. And I'm like, that's fantastic. That really is. Um, and now I also think it's commonplace for anybody online to be like, I studied journalism. Therefore, I know what I'm talking about when they really don't know what they're talking about. Um, Twitter ends up creating drama just because people want to be right for the sake of being right, and then like um questioning others, and then when you get pushed into a corner they want to like start attacking anything else but the conversation, and it's like that's not how conversations go. um but yeah, there's some other stuff on Twitter too that I could just be like, yo, here's an update on this, here's an update on that, in the wrestling world, because that's what we focus on. But I do tend to not want to always stay on the drama. It's just that it I think that sometimes it makes people aware of how other people think. And it's like, you know, are they really thinking that, or they're just saying that because it's the internet? You can say whatever you want on the internet. But to make people aware of like, okay, they don't really know what they're talking about. Okay, let's move along. Because I really do want to start getting into the tape study series where I react to wrestling matches. I still would like people that are on my Substack, all of my readers, to like send me match recommendations for me to react to, and if we do a live stream about it, that'd be great. Unfortunately, I can't do a live stream via Substack because it's only on the phone. Like, it'd be mad weird if I'm um, have the camera pointed and we do it like that. That'd be like super weird. But until Substack decides to do a stream key and stuff, that'd be kind of interesting too to do it like that. Um, it depends on like what matches you give me, because I don't want to get hit with copyrights on YouTube just because it gets crazy. Um, I have been putting off the idea of letting you guys know that I want to head over to kick streaming and also start my Twitch back up, but I don't know who has an account with Twitch, or who even watches streamers on Twitch, and who watches streamers on Kick. Kick, as much as they have like a degenerated problem for like degens, people who act out, people who use Kick to do whatever the hell that they want without consequence until they finally get some consequences, and then they don't understand why they get consequences. But Kick has a bad reputation on that end, but also I hate that the main selling point for Kick streaming is that um if you guys were to sub over to Kick, I get 95% of that, while Kick takes 5% of whatever the sub is. So if you're subbing to me at like $4.99 for like a month, I get 95% of that, while excuse me, while Kick gets 5. I don't always want money to be the selling point of like some of the stuff that I do, the content that I do, but I do want to treat it like a business, just because that's how it is. That's how we all survive. But yeah, I don't know who has a Kick account or even heard about Kick streaming. I don't know who has a Twitch account. I do know that the majority of people have like a YouTube account, so that's fine. So as you know, being in the YouTube partner program, I have memberships available, which, like I said, with me, it's always going to be like $1 for like the grandfather tier, which basically means that it's like a day one tier for everybody that has been with me since day one, or maybe if you just joined me, you could join that too if like you want to. But that's not going to change. But any other tier, might change. Uh, but yeah, YouTube now has memberships. There's only 2 memberships currently. There is the day one ish, which is $1.99. I couldn't do $1, so I had to do the $1.99, just because. And then the other tier is $9.99 a month, which is the Tape Study Plus, where it's a bunch of stuff put into that for like plus, so like live streams, member only streams as well. Maybe member only streams, we won't get hit with a copyright if we watch like New Japan or something, but I don't know. We will have to test it out, and I will have to like really, trust myself, because I rather watch like New Japan on one of the other sites like Twitch and or like Kick or something. And then YouTube also has the super chats, so that will help as well. I usually like to be very transparent with my readers and transparent with everybody else that subscribes to me and enjoys my content, because I think that that's a very good open conversation of like what to expect. Not all streamers do this, and they don't really have to, but I really don't like when streamers mislead their audiences, and those that decide to subscribe to them with their hard-earned money, because I totally understand it. I get it. I don't want nobody to be duped into thinking that, like, all I want is money. I want to make good content. I want to make good, valuable content. Content where like you can learn from it. There's an education behind it, because it is professional wrestling. I do want to make people understand that professional wrestling is cool. Professional wrestling has like fundamentals, and there's a foundation, and you could always build off and spin off of a foundation of like professional wrestling, like within the boundaries, because everything has boundaries in life. If you didn't have some type of boundary, then everything will be anarchy, and then we'll never have something to, at least be civilized with, and something to share amongst each other, because it's just going to be anarchy. And if the rules are always changing, there is no growth except for like everything going downwards, if that like, makes sense. Um, Aside from that, I've also been sort of like a little too afraid. I get into my head too much. I say this all the time. And that's just because, like, most of the time I want things to be perfect, but nothing's ever going to be perfect. Like, I just jumped on here to do a live stream, and I'm freaking rambling about a bunch of stuff. And you guys are going to probably watch this and be like, what the fuck, Marie? What the fuck? Anyway, so I get into my head a lot, which basically gets like imposter syndrome and all this kind of other shit. And sometimes I want to send you guys like reader surveys to be like, hey, what do you want me to change about the newsletter? What do you want me to add? What do you want me to not add? I do realize that Substack, while Substack has the video uploading, so like I can make a video, and then I can upload it. Those get really bad analytics. I tend to look at my analytics a lot more, and I judge on what content is good content based on the analytics that I see. I do this a lot on YouTube. But sorry, Substack's video analytics are the worst. So I could put up a video, like let's say that it's if I do an in-person interview with a wrestler, the analytics for that video is going to be horrible, versus if I just upload the audio and just make it into a podcast episode, those numbers do fantastic. However, for a video platform like YouTube, the numbers are great. Even though numbers like fluctuate, like I'm still happy with the numbers that I get for certain type of content. I do understand that like certain contents are not for everybody. It's not going to be seen by everybody. That's totally fine. I could just like continue to share it and market it. But obviously YouTube gives me better numbers than like, a Substack analytics would be for a video. So like I know that like if I were to upload one of the live streams, it probably won't do well. But an audio version of it might do well. So I know that like um, video is not really gonna work. The other thing too is that like that brings me to the tape study section on the Square Circle podcast, where I haven't really been uploading the tape study stuff there. I would upload it more on YouTube and or Spotify, because Spotify now allows video uploads. Um, so I might end up taking the tape study out and sort of redirecting people to the YouTube for the tape study. And some tape studies would be behind the paywall, the membership over at YouTube. Just because, again, tape study series and reacting to videos and reacting to certain stuff, that takes a little bit longer than just doing like 2 podcasts in a day. It really does. Because at least with the podcasts, I have notes, so I could go based off the notes and stuff, and then just put it out. Um, I've also tried to promise myself that I will take this journey a little bit more slower. And when I say the journey, I mean like, pick and choose what I want to talk about, because I value quality over quantity. When you do quantity, is it really, what's the word I'm looking for? is really valuable. I look at things for the wrestling community to be valuable to my readers, my listeners, my viewers, just to be valuable and not just to be like, oh, let's clown on this person and, let's talk about this person, let's talk about this drama and that drama and whatnot. Like, I try to make sure that everything that I do is of quality. If I need to like talk about drama to address something, it's mainly because to bring awareness to it, and that's about it. Like I did with Dave Metzer trying to really derail me on Twitter about, me not apologizing to him for 7 weeks. He could still wait because I'm not going to apologize to him. So it doesn't matter. But that's in my back catalog. Um, Aside from that, I don't know if you guys want me to just do like a live of, I don't know. I mean, the thought of reading John Cena's wisdom tweets kind of popped into my head. I was like, oh, I could just read some stuff. Because John Cena had a very good tweet not too long ago where I took a screenshot and it said, "Good work finds a way," and that's exactly what I'm proud of. Good work finds a way. It doesn't matter how long the journey is. You have to at least enjoy the journey and enjoy what you do. I enjoy talking about wrestling. I get burned out from time to time because there's just a lot of people that are just stuck in being stubborn and they think that they're smarter than others and you can't make them budge. Not that like they should budge. They should budge on their own time, but at least be open minded and sort of like understand another person's perspective rather than being like, no, that's it. I'm shutting you down and stuff. But enjoying the journey is great. Picking your moments is also a thing too. But I really do believe that John Cena is right. That it is about good work finds a way. Good work finds a way to the people that you want to attract into your community and build a wonderful community. There's way too many people that are in it for themselves. There's way too many people that are just wanting to see people fail, and it's like I don't know why they would do that. Um, but that's just how it is. So yeah, I don't even know if I would want to like just read John Cena tweets. Uh, some of the stuff that Cena says, I'm like, oh, this is great. But yeah, I think I should print that out and put it like everywhere. That good work finds a way. That was a really good quote that like I needed to see. But never really thought about it. First of all. But yeah, after I end this live stream and you guys heard everything that I had to say, leave some comments or message me and let me know how you want the live streams to go. The live stream feature, to my understanding, for Substack is that it's supposed to be like, in real time. So if I was at like a show, I haven't been to a wrestling show in a very long time, and it's sort of annoying. Um, but if I was at a wrestling show and I did a live stream, that would be like kind of cool to do. I did not know I could have a co-host when I do this. So I don't know. I'll talk to other people that are on my list and see what happens. Just know that nothing is guaranteed just because personally, and personally is not you. Okay, I'm gonna say that right now. Personally is not you. I just grew up to be like a lone wolf and to do things on my own. That's just how it is. Because the environment that you grow up sort of dictates the kind of personality that you have. And being in New York City, man, like it's survival of the fittest out here. So it's not you. It's me. Which is true. So if anybody hears that I could have a co-host here, just don't really jump at it, in a crazy way. Just know that like I will read if anybody wants to be a co-host the next time. We could talk about wrestling and stuff. But yeah, um, so yeah, just let me know what you guys want. Because like I was saying that Substack designed this to be to capture in real time, real moments. And if I was at a wrestling event, I would probably just start up a live stream and be like, oh my god, look where I'm at, and all this kind of stuff. Maybe I'll do one when I'm at MLW. Who knows? But MLW does return to New York City in the summer for Summer of the Beast. I believe it's either June or July, one of those 2 months, but we'll talk about it when we get there. But I think that'll be a very fun thing. I do want to have more wrestling discussions, more lively wrestling discussions. And by the way, you guys can leave a comment on any of the um newsletters that goes out. You could do that. You can let me know how the newsletter is and what you thought about it. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be the wrap up. Because I just want to test out a live stream. And it's the weirdest thing because it's not like opening up my OBS and being like, let's go live. That's more easier. But the first step is doing something. The first step is actually going and doing what you want to do and set out to do, and don't let no one, uh, try to steer you in a different direction because they're not doing what they want to do, so they want to stop you. Don't let no one do that. By the way, um, yeah. So let me know. Leave me some comments. And you have been listening to a very special live by Marie Shadows on the Square Circle podcast on marieshadows.substack.com. Tell a friend, send it out. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next live. Let me know when you want that to happen too. Like, I don't know. Give me some feedback, please. Feedback. Thank you. I will see you guys all next time. Enjoy your Thursday. It's currently like raining over here in New York City, but enjoy your Thursday. I hope that this was a very fun, small live stream.